In the northern rivers of New South Wales, Australia, two friends embarked on a skydiving adventure, their lives impacted by fate in a near-fatal twist. This film unfolds the resilient tapestry of these two friends' journey as they navigate the challenging path of recovery, physically and mentally. Highlighting the importance of mental health, family, recovery and friendship, it's a story of hope, resilience and the human spirit's power to overcome obstacles. Join us on this powerful journey where these words are tested and strengthened and witness the transformative power of resilience. This is their story.
Give me a thumbs up!
What the fuck happened?
Just sit down.
Am I ripped open or something?
Nah, that's all good.
Do you want an ambulance?
I don't know, am I ripped open?
You got a phone?
So, who are you?
Yeah, well, my name's Mark Lucchiari, or better known as Luch. I was born in Melbourne, Victoria, in Ferntree Gully, and I spent the first 5 years of my life down there and then moved up to the Gold Coast and moved to Burleigh Heads. Yeah, I think as a kid I was pretty sporty, always playing sports. I was overweight when I was younger and wasn't, I suppose, that good at sports. Yeah, once we kind of got to, I don't know, year 6 or 7, I started stripping a bit of the weight and got into footy. I was playing AFL footy and I sucked at it at first but kept pushing hard and ended up becoming a half decent player, and we ended up having a pretty fun little footy career till I was about 18 years old.
How would I describe Luchi? Known Luchi for about 10 years. He used to come down and fun jump at Byron. He was always a go-getter, you know, tough man, the fighter.
Who my dad is. 100% committed to everything he does. You can feel his presence in the room when he enters it.
Mate, if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it.
Always doing something extreme, you know, always living his life to the fullest. So definitely a role model and someone to look up to.
He's warm, he's kind, he's gentle, and at the same time, if you see him, he's chiseled out of muscle. He's strong, he's got fists the size of watermelons.
He'll pick up anything that he's not experienced in and he just takes it by the scruff of the neck and... 2, 1, see ya!
He's very passionate, driven, loving. As a husband, he treats me like a queen. He's always treated me like a queen.
He was a kickboxer. I've been towing skiing with him.
Dad, I don't know what drives him, but he just needs that adventure and thrill with everything. So
Yeah, it's very
he's
driven
always
for adventure.
Yeah.
like for example, like he is zero background in motorbikes and that's just all I know. And man, he just gets at it all day, you know.
And he skydives and he gets involved with life, so, you know, he's a bit of a larger-than-life character and someone I enjoy spending time with.
We were on the footy field, we'd had a few games we'd played and got in a few fights during those games, and he's like, mate, I think you'd be a good fighter. You should come down and learn Muay Thai. And it wasn't until another couple of years later, that I actually started training again. I'd injured myself wakeboarding. I think I'd had my 4th or 5th knee operation, and I come back and started training Muay Thai a little bit just for a bit of fitness. And my oldest son at the time, he wanted to train a little bit. He was only about 5 years old. He wanted to train, so I took him down there and I started training for a little bit of fitness, and next thing you know, we're having a fight. And actually my youngest, or my oldest boy, Kings, he had his first fight before I did. And then I had my first fight, and then we both just kind of got stuck right into it and ended up fighting all around Australia, won a couple of Aussie titles, and then we moved to Thailand in 2014, took the family over there and thought we wanted to spend a couple of years over there fighting and living and immersed in the Muay Thai scene and do it how the Thais do it. You're constantly training, constantly dieting. You literally have no life. There's nothing outside of Muay Thai or fighting. You are consumed by it, and it consumes your whole life.
Yeah, I definitely look up to Dad as a role model. He's everything that I aspire to be in life. Not so much the adventure side, but just the commitment to everything and trying your best no matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter whether you fail or not. It's just commit to anything you do in life.
I feel like I need to start again. My name's Ben Lucock. I grew up in New South Wales in Australia and mostly around the Central Coast, little town Terrigal. It was a small cul-de-sac street, good little group, like a little street posse, you know, like. And I remember one of my mum's rules were you weren't allowed to be home if the sun was out, so you got home from school and you were pretty much kicked out of the house. Yeah.
To explain my boy is quite difficult because he's quite a complex young gentleman. And one thing that I can tell you though is he was terrified of heights, which is so bizarre considering what he now does for his sports.
Ben, he's a great guy, loved by everyone. I find that wherever we go, wherever he goes, he always finds friends, lifelong friends, which always amazes me.
He was always pretty switched on, you know. He's one of those guys that come to the drop zone and just picked up everything straight away. He was a gun from the start. Super nice dude, you know, always giving you the time of day and always good for a chat and a laugh.
When I think about what he does today, it blows my mind really, because it's so far away from who he was as a small child. But in saying that, he was always, he always wanted to do things. He always wanted to push himself to the limit and take on a new challenge. And
3, 2, 1,
yeah, boys.
26, 27, I started skydiving with the intensity base jump. I just decided to do it. Similar to a fair few sports, I never really had any mates. It's not like I went into it with friends or got dragged in by mates. Like, I decided I was gonna skydive one day, so I just organised it and went there by myself. I remember multiple times driving to the car park, getting there and being just like, I'm not gonna get out of the car. I just won't get out of the car. They won't know that I drove here and I don't get out. They'll just think I never came today.
Skydiving is essentially just an object falling out of the plane. You're diving towards the earth. You can reach various speeds. You can fall really fast, or you can fly or fall really slow. It all depends on what kind of surface area you present to the wind. So the more surface area you present, the slower you go. The less surface area you present, the faster you can go.
The parachute system consists of 4 main components. So we've got a main parachute, a reserve parachute, an automatic activation device, and the harness container, which holds the whole system together. So when we jump, we primarily use the main parachute. The main is the parachute that we use on every skydive unless there's a problem with it. And if there's a problem with that parachute, we can release it or cut it away, and then we can deploy the reserve parachute. The reserve parachute is packed within the system and is only used in an emergency situation. Attached to the emergency system itself, we also have an AAD. The AAD, or automatic activation device, is there as a backup device. So that's there, it's set at a preset altitude and speed. So if nothing or no parachute has been activated at that height or speed, then the AAD will activate the reserve parachute.
When we first started off skydiving, we learned to fall belly to earth. After that, there's various different progression paths you can take. You can fall in a stand-up position called sit fly, or upside down position called head down, and these are known as the free flying orientations or discipline.
Since head down and head up flying has been introduced, skydiving itself has just evolved so rapidly. The disciplines, angle flying, you know, and then wingsuiting. So free flying was probably the first real advancement in skydiving discipline in probably nearly 20 years.
You also have a thing called tracking or angles or movement jumps, and these are because you're angling across the sky or tracking across the sky or moving across the sky. So essentially we're trying to fly your body in a horizontal motion. You can carve, you can turn, you can do all sorts of things with it.
For me, skydiving is like human body flight. Once you got past your skydiving course or all the scary stuff, all that's left for skydiving is flying your body in the air.
I started to learn more about skydiving as a sport. I realised there was a lot to it. And then I started to learn about the disciplines and the input you can put in and the physics behind it. And I guess once I found that technical side to it, I became a big fan.
You don't just fly the parachute to the ground, you actually get to learn different aspects of the parachute and get to fly at speeds. And why do people think skydiving's scary? Because you're jumping out of a fucking plane.
Tell us what you remember before the jump, in particular the build-up and the hype on the day. Yeah, so the accident, the day of the accident, it was a weekend boogie down at Byron Bay. There was a bunch of legends down.
The energy was great, the weather was great, everyone was having a really enjoyable day.
Skydiving was kind of getting back into the groove. We were getting some people back together and we're like, let's just have an organised day that everyone comes down. We're going to have coaches, coaching people, and I was one of the people that got asked to coach on the day.
The first day I was going to be doing my 1000s jump, and it was lining up for the last jump of the day, so I think I was going to do 6 jumps, and yeah, the last one's going to be the 1000th.
The feeling was incredible. It was a perfect day. Bluebird all day, the sunset was going to be amazing, and we were going to do a big wave for one of the boys' 1000th jump, Mad Dog.
I was pretty excited because a lot of the coaches are going to be on, a lot of people I look up to, and for them to be a part of my jump was going to be pretty special.
So the plan was we had a 2-leader angle group. So there were 2 leaders and then a bunch of other skydivers that were following those leaders.
17 people in the plane, and we all exit to build a formation in the sky. In this instance, the formation was a moving angle. So we're not actually touching each other, we're not connected, but we're all flying on the same trajectory at the same speed. And we're slowly, as we're coming down, we're drifting across the sky.
And at some stage during the free fall, as we're on the angle, the two leaders would then separate, take off their groups of followers, and then everyone else would spread out, disperse to make sure that they had a safe area to deploy and get back to the landing area.
Everyone was frothing. The plane ride was incredible. The froth was high. There was no ill feelings of anyone on a day like that. It's just when everything's been running perfect, you know, and everyone was super excited and ready to have an amazing sunset jump and land, and people on the ground with beers ready to go, and we're ready to party.
Being able to get on a jump like that at the end of the day, man, it's the cream on the pie. Sunset angles to finish a great day off, man, you can't beat it. Up there with all your mates, you've got the colours of the sunset setting over like the Northern Rivers hinterland, like it's magic, you know. Everything seemed okay.
I was in the second group. I was actually the first diver of the second group. So the first group, there was a bunch of back flyers outside the plane and probably about 3 or 4 inside. There were belly flyers. And then with our group, I was coming out and the rest of us were mainly belly flyers in my group. And we were essentially diving after the first formations.
So when you're the last diver, this means everybody else in the plane has already gone or they've jumped before you. So really you're playing catch up. You need to jump out, you need to fly fast to catch the rest of the group because, you know, we've only got 60 seconds of playtime before it's all over.
So I was right at the back. I was at the front of the plane. So by the time I get out of the plane, people have exited like 10, 12 seconds ago. They've been in free fall for quite a while and they're quite a fair way down. So in order for me to be able to catch them, I have to go into what's called a dive. I have to build speed. Best way to explain it is like the original Point Break movie, you know, when he jumps out and chasing him.
So what I seen during my flight was I was having a hell time, just going, woo, yeah. And I seen someone, what was it, like a deflection of someone spitting off.
I thought it was going to take me a long time to catch up to the group. I thought it was going to take me a long time. So I thought I wouldn't kind of catch the group till around that 7, maybe 8,000 feet, which is quite a significantly long dive for me.
So yeah, I exited the plane, everything was sweet, dove straight down into my slot. I looked across at Mad Dog, who was my leader. I looked across at him and yeah, you could even hear, you know, everyone was frothing, like people hooting and hollering, everyone smiling.
But I caught them really fast. Well, I wasn't as far above them as I originally thought. And I just totally mistimed everything and I came flying through the group. And unfortunately I collided with Luchi as I came through.
I don't know whether I feel like I remember the hit, the initial hit, and then it's really strange. Like I kind of felt like I was dreaming. Like, you know, when you have those dreams and you're trying to do something, like say you're trying to scream out or something like that and you can't scream, you have no voice. In my dream, it was kind of weird. I felt like I was on my back in my dream and I couldn't roll over onto my belly. Like, I knew I was skydiving, but I couldn't roll over onto my belly.
As they hit each other, I just saw 2 people flipping out of control. So, yeah, I thought I better go see if I can help. I don't know what's happened. I don't know how serious it is, but yeah, we're talking about a big impact. So,
as soon as I'd hit Luchi, I knew I'd broke my leg. I knew my leg was snapped. I immediately went into like a ball. And I was hugging my right knee into my chest, trying to keep my leg together because I could feel it was just jelly. A second after that, I panicked that I'd hit Luchi, and I looked for him over my right shoulder, and I can see Luchi Luchi was cartwheeling across the sky in free fall in an obvious unconscious position. I knew I had to get to him. So I flipped to my belly and attempted to fly towards Luchi. I could feel my leg just flapping behind me like a streamer. It had no rigidity. I didn't know what to do, so I deployed my parachute. At this point, I seen, as my chute was opening, 2 skydivers start to make their way towards Luchi that was now becoming a dot in the sky. And I could see them trying to track towards him. And then from there, with the terrain and obviously the altitude, I'm at 7,000 and he's falling away from me. I lost him. Couldn't see him anymore.
As I approached Luch, he had both hands on his head. He was rotating pretty fast and also in a rock. I didn't know what to do. The spin started to slow. So as the rotation started to slow, I thought, this is my chance to maybe stabilize him or maybe give him a shake, or I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna do, but as I've moved in to grab him, he's gone into this like backflip motion, which has put him on his head, and he's just tracked away. Like within 2 seconds, he's lost that much altitude and made so much distance away from me that there's nothing I can do.
I don't really remember much more, but then I have this, I think I was going through about 1,000 feet, and I actually start coming to a bit. It's still very dreamlike, but I was aware that I was actually going in. Like through 1,000 feet, I was back onto my belly by now. I had actually come to, but I don't really have much memory of it at all. But I was on my belly, going through 1,000 feet, and I could see the ground, I could see the trees, I could see freaking blades of grass pretty much. And I was like, fuck, I'm going in. And I didn't understand why I was going in at all. I just knew I was going in. I had this feeling that maybe I thought I'd tried to do my emergency procedures and they hadn't worked and this was it. I must have seen the cutaway handle, and that's what's given me the thought that my emergency procedures have failed. And I kind of had this thought that my parachute, my reserve parachute, was still stuck on my back or something.
It was at this moment where it all really sunk in. I'm thinking, I'm about to watch my mate go in, I'm screaming at him to pitch and just waiting for a puff of dust to come up when he hits the ground. I'm thinking, I was his last chance and I couldn't save him.
And this was it. I'm going in, and I thought of my family quickly, like, shit. Yeah, I thought of the boys, thought of my wife, Portawini, and I actually was like pretty content. I was like, this is it.
I thought he was dead. I thought it'd kill me, mate. My initial thoughts were to we're jumping on Byron Bay. It's on the ocean. I wanted to fly my parachute out to the ocean. I didn't want to live. I knew I'd stuffed up so bad. Took out me mate. Cost him his life. I didn't deserve to be here.
So I remember actually trying to reach up and try to grab it or pull it off my back or something like that. And then my AAD fired and my reserve canopy started opening up. And I do remember the canopy opening, and then I don't remember any like flight. I just remember about to hit the ground then.
What do you think when you see that?
It's a bit emotional, to be honest. Having seen friends die before and knowing how close that was to Luch not making it, it's a little bit hard to watch. So, yeah, thank God for the equipment. That's all there is to it, you know.
I landed back at the drop zone. I was able to land with my leg. It wasn't too bad. And I just started screaming, where's Luchi? Where's Luchi? What have I done? Where is he? Someone find him.
Was on all fours on the ground and trying to figure out what the fuck had just happened. And then as this is happening, I see Roger, one of the other boys, I see him kind of spiraling down under canopy, and he like lands over near me, and I yell, like, he lands really hard, and I was like, holy shit, Roger, are you all right?
And then I did see your canopy come out, which was a massive relief, obviously. And then straight away I saw you flying towards power lines. And I'm going, we're going to survive all of this stuff and then fly into some power lines. It's like, okay. Landed and raced over to see what was going on, and I do know that I was not expecting Luch to hop up and have a chat. I was expecting something I hadn't seen before.
Right, bros? Oh, right, man. Man? Yeah. What the fuck happened? Am I all right?
Just sit, yeah, you're right, Luke. Luke, you're right. Just sit down.
Am I ripped open or something?
No, all good.
Do you want an ambulance?
I don't know, am I ripped open? You got a phone? Nah. Is it bad, is it?
So I've landed safely, maybe 200 metres from him, dropped my gear, I start running over. I yelled out something like, give us a thumbs up, see if he's responsive. And then Roger lands next to him. So Roger's with him by the time I get there. And by this time, him and Roger are talking. I think Luchi's saying like, oh, am I all right? Am I busted open? I said, do we need an ambulance? And he goes, I don't know. And Roger's like, oh, you've been taken out, knocked out, and you've had a Cypress fire, but you're all good. I've run up the hill to the house, the local farmhouse there. I'm banging on the door going, we need to use the phone. No one's answered, so went in anyway.
Whoa, it's a big hit? So were you in slot? Can you remember the jump at all?
Yeah, I was fully in slot,
Yeah.
fucking flying slot, and then just like, oh, fuck.
You got a cut on your back of your head. Where's your helmet?
There. Look at my helmet, look at the blood splatter.
Yeah, that's, you know what that is? What is it? That's a fucking...
GoPro still filming?
Yeah, so that. G'day, everybody.
Ew! Fuck yeah.
Drove into, it was basically someone's driveway, and there was like a random little car, and it had Luch and Roger Mulkey in it. Luch was sitting in the front seat with his canopy in his lap, and he had the stunnedest look on his face, like he was clearly had concussion, which I had no idea, and he had blood just pouring down his face. And I just got out of the car and I was like, fuck me, dude, you and your head. I thought I was driving, I literally thought I was driving into a paddock with one of my best mates dead in the paddock.
And eventually someone was able to relay some information to me that his parachute had opened and he was okay. Luchi was all right. He was pretty battered. He had a face full of dry blood. I have a feeling he was drinking a beer 20 minutes after he got back to the drop zone. True Luchi fashion.
Fuck, thanks for following us, man. Fuck, thought I was going in. Thought I was going in. Wow. There goes my fucking day of jumping tomorrow.
How do you think Benny feels about the situation and how he's been dealing with it?
Oh, 100% he's in the worst position out of everybody, you know. So many thoughts would be going through his head, you know, like, he made a mistake, but he's doing a sport where anybody could make it as well. So, but you're never going to tell yourself that. He didn't even know after he had made his mistake, he was dealing with something that nobody will ever get to deal with a smashed leg hanging from a parachute. He was thinking about the guy that he hit at full speed and didn't see him open his parachute. He thought he killed somebody. He's by far had the most traumatic experience.
Well, with Ben's incident in particular, it's not just a broken leg. He destroyed his leg. I remember the surgeon saying that it was like a bomb had gone off in his knee and just shattered everything. So it was an extensive knee and leg injury.
I wasn't sure what I'd done. All I knew was, to me, the x-rays looked pretty lame. But to all the surgeons, they seemed to be very excited in their medical way about my knee and the severity of the injury. And it seemed like with the rounds of the orthopedic surgeons coming around, it wasn't until later in those 10 days that they started talking about a surgeon doing surgery on my leg. The first few days were a lot of ums and ahs and various vague plans. Then I met Francois Tudor, Dr. Tudor.
My name's Francois Tudor. I'm a orthopedic surgeon. My main interest is in knee injuries and knee surgery. When we look at sports injuries to the knee, they can be very severe, but much less commonly do they involve lots of ligaments. Ben suffered an injury to his knee which we would describe as a high energy injury. So he sustained a huge amount of damage to the bones, ligaments, cartilages around his knee. We can see the x-rays here of his knee, which shows some significant damage to the inside of the knee, and then some small areas of damage to the medial or inner side of the knee. Now, surprisingly, the injury doesn't look that bad on the x-rays. We get a CT scan, which shows us more information about the injury to the bones, and we can see that this is where the ACL ligament attaches, and it's pulled off with a small fragment of bone. There's a fragment of bone on the inner side of his knee, another fragment here, and this is actually part of one of the major inner ligaments, which has torn off and flipped inside the knee joint. And then there's a fragment at the back of the knee, which is where the PCL ligament attaches, so that's also pulled off with a small fragment of bone. And then right at the very, very back of the knee, there are some fragments of articular cartilage, so bone and the joint cartilage, which have flipped right into the back of the knee and spun around through the back of the knee and flipped upside down on top of themselves. So this is a huge injury and caused major damage to the other soft tissues.
The recovery process was a lot different to what I expected. I'd witnessed a lot of injuries and people with, injuries that are persistent for a long period of time or leave people in a disabled state through my job. But I realised I was a long way off once I started going through it myself. And the things that I thought were going to be hard weren't too hard. The things I thought were going to be okay were very hard. Just little things like your independence. Sophie looked after me for the first couple of months. I literally could not do a thing.
And so initially we replaced the piece of flipped cartilage that was all the way in the back of his knee and fixed it with some screws and some wires. And then we fixed the meniscus, which we cannot see on x-ray, but we fixed his meniscus tear. And then we went and fixed the two ligaments, the ACL and the PCL, by pulling them back onto the bone. We then repaired the inner meniscus, and finally we repaired the inner ligament. And as I said, we had to reinforce that because it was such bad damage, and we reinforced it by using some staples to hold a allograft, or a graft from a dead person, onto the outside of his knee, over the top of the medial ligament to support it while it heals.
Yeah, so Ben puts 200% into absolutely everything he does. So having this injury, he just wanted his leg better. In his mind, I think he had a time frame set, which was a lot shorter than what it should have been. So he just needed to get there. If he missed a day on his routine, he would be destroyed. He would be so down in himself, he would break down. It was a massive roller coaster. I remember we had weights on his leg and he was screaming, and he wanted me to be pushing on his leg, and he was screaming. I was crying. It was horrible.
The first 6 months I was very driven.
What are you doing?
Just giving the leg a stretch. I'd return to work in a light duties fashion. They'd give me an office job. I'd get up at 5:30. I'd go to the gym for 2 hours and do rehab. I'd come home. I had a meal plan. I had daily exercise plans. I was following everything to a T. I'd finish work. I'd do mobility work. I'd go for a swim. I'd try and get out of the house and do something. Every day I was living good. But I knew, I felt like I was going to be an anomaly to the system. What they said I'd possibly never achieve, I was going to achieve it in 6 months. And I had such a but I felt a great sense of what the future held, and I felt like it was in my grasp. And then the 6 months that followed that, my leg was protesting against me. The more rehab I did, the more I tried to get better, the worse my leg got.
It's been a long road for him, and it would have been really hard. I think he even said to me one day, it really sunk in when, you know, he was thinking about if someone broke into the house, he wouldn't even be able to protect Sophie, you know. So he almost felt like some of his manness or manhood had been stripped away from him. So that's, you know, no one likes to feel less of a man and that you can't protect your family.
Maybe a year and a bit after Ben's accident, I was visiting a friend with a few friends down on the mid-north coast, and this particular friend has, I guess what you call psychic abilities. She looked at me and said, "Your son's in trouble." And I said, "Oh yeah, I know, he's had an accident. He's had an accident and he's really struggling." And she said, "No, no, no, he's in trouble." Oh, this is so hard. Sorry. Oh, far out. She said, "No, he's suicidal." And oh man, that tore me up. I thought, no, you can't be right. No, he's not that bad. And I rang Ben as soon as I got home and I said, "You okay, buddy?" And he said, "No."
I had a partner at home that said he didn't want to live anymore. And so I was worried that I would get home and he wouldn't be there. So emotionally, it was hard.
I'd go to sleep at night and pray that I didn't wake up. I pray that I wouldn't wake up the next day. I didn't want to do it anymore. I wasn't feeling any progress. It just felt like a life that wasn't worth living.
Men's mental health is a major issue around the world, not just in Australia, and it seems to be that our way of not dealing with it is not dealing with it. We hide it and we keep pushing on until eventually something snaps and something goes. I guess we think we're strong and we think we can deal with these problems ourselves and don't talk about it, but it's not encouraged to be discussed. There's no open conversation about it.
Yeah, I've been a fighter my whole life, can fight, can beat just about any man, but that's not strength. I don't see that as strength. I see being able to tell a man that I'm vulnerable and that I suffer from depression and I get sad. That is strength. Being able to talk to a guy, give him a cuddle. If you, hey mate, you doing all right? Now that's fucking strength. You know. So, and it's been good. Like I said, we've all opened up. Like man, like the conversations that we're having.
100%.
And you know, my wife's even sat off to the side sometimes and like, holy shit, you boys talk so well, and it's so good to see men be men, be vulnerable men. You know.
Yeah. The first thing is to acknowledge it. Second thing is to ask for help. And personally, I think it's a sign of strength if you ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness.
When speaking with Ben, he still holds quite a lot of guilt around the situation. And something that could also be at play from a psychological perspective was the fact that reliving that situation would have been extremely confronting, knowing that at that point, he thought that he'd killed his friend. There tends to be what we call a loss of meaning in life and feelings that, you know, there doesn't seem to be any future or just waiting for it all to be over. A preoccupation with death, suffering and tragedy, or pessimistic feelings such as what's the point? A feeling that surviving was a mistake, thinking I shouldn't be here, or having feelings of guilt or unworthiness.
Yeah, it's very real. Very real, and once you're in a deep depression, sometimes it's super hard to escape, that's for sure. And that's why where meditation, breath work, training for me, jumping out of planes, living a bit of a high life, that really helps me and control it and keep it at bay, that's for sure.
It's you know, it's a good lesson for all of us, and being friends with both of them and seeing the process unravel. It's been you know, humbling, and you know, I'm very proud of them both, and seeing them overcome these adversities and challenges, which has just come and come and come.
I really feel that Ben is the most incredible character. Clearly has an inner strength and resilience that, although he's had his issues and his ups and downs and his real struggles, he manages to keep pulling himself through. I know he's surrounded by some good people who've helped him through that as well.
We've got to get rid of that stigma attached to depression. The way I see depression is some people get diagnosed with depression, and then they feel like there's this you know, this gorilla on their back that they have to carry around for the rest of their life. And I don't think it's like that. I think yes, you're gonna have like depression probably throughout the rest of your life. But maybe he just jumps on one morning and you got him from the morning, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go catch up with some friends. And then he jumps off, and then you're good for a few months or something. Like,
100%.
Don't walk around with this, I have depression. You know, this it's not a burden on your entire life. You know, you're gonna go through dark times and good times.
But yeah, I feel his progression where he's at now, nearly 2 years later, is incredible. And we've become pretty good mates. And yeah, I love seeing him. I love seeing him do all his stuff, getting back on the surfboard and skating again. It's fucking epic, really, yeah.
After our incident, I was looking through his social media, and I was like, oh, he really loves fighting. I love martial arts.
What was he saying? He says he can't knock a pea off a roast, but or something like that, off a pot roast. But mate, he's pretty athletic. I'm sure he can throw hands pretty well, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We haven't hit pads together before, so it's going to be it's a really good connection between a pad holder and someone hitting pads, training with someone, pushing them to the limits. And yeah, letting out that little bit of frustration. So I think it will help him a lot today, and it's going to be enjoyable. Try the right hand. Or, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, look, so you got that. That hand comes down. You got that. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. Right. Yeah. 1, 2. Good. Again. Good. Yeah, nice. Come on, Benny. Come on. Hey! Come on, good. Hey! Oh, hey again.
That's good though.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm gonna
something about hitting pads just gets a little bit of aggression out.
What's that?
Just like a hemp cream. It's got some arnica stuff in it.
I guess I have a bit of an obsessive compulsive nature, so I've become very obsessed with my knee for the last 2 years and different methods of treatment and blah blah blah. So, you know, I'm skating, trying to get skate a little bit, helping with my surfing and just using my leg, teaching my body to have confidence in my leg again.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of Ben. I knew he would. That's his personality. He gets through things. Something needs to be done, he does it. He puts everything he has into his leg to get it better. And yeah, I'm incredibly proud of him to where he is now.
Can't remember how to pack.
How you feeling this morning, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good actually. Slept well. Feeling excited. Pumped off everyone else's energy as well as my own. But definitely nervous, and I can feel that embarrassment and everything that's kind of associated with the injury, the accident, starting to creep up. Just returning to the drop zone with the parachute. I regarded myself as not a bad skydiver and made a pretty pathetic mistake, so like it's hard to face. And I've got other people's safety around me, and I'm that guy that almost killed someone, so I could understand if other people are wary of me now and things like that.
How do you feel about doing this jump with Luchi?
Yeah, I'm nervous, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine jump with Luchi. Like, I think we'll just jump in a way that we'll stay right next to each other the whole time. The safest place in skydiving is quite often like right next to someone, because you can't build up any momentum to run into them. It'd just be like bumping shoulders. So maybe we'll hold hands when we jump out of the plane.
Just a little anxious, I suppose. I want everything to go good for Benny, and yeah, I'm excited too, man. Yeah, super excited seeing the froth on Benny and seeing how nervous he is. It's good, man. It's good to see the vibe at the droppy. Everyone's pumping to see him back here. So yeah, we've got a beautiful day here down in Byron Bay. The sun's come out. We've got blue skies, and it looks like we're ready to go. I think we're on load 2. So yeah, we're about to get it done.
fucking slate it. How come is that your face? It's like, holy shit! I'm so stoked for you, man.
Thanks, man.
Seriously, bro.
Oh.
Fucking so stoked, mate.
The extra was funny. My legs just
Love you,
fully jammed. I love you too, bro. Fuck.
Love you,
I was
mate,
like,
man.
oh, what's this gonna do as I come out of the plane? It's like hanging behind me. Come on, Peggy, get out.
At least, like, is that your front leg or is that your back? It's like hooked perfect now.
Yeah,
You just, like,
I know.
stuck your head down.
It just kind of sits there, right?
Thanks, man.
Cheers, up, bro.
Appreciate it.
How was the jump, dude?
Oh man, yeah, it was
so good
to see him back in the sky. His face was incredible going out the door. It was pretty cool and pretty special, and I feel it's going to definitely give a bit of closure for myself and for Benny, and yeah, like I said, all parties involved as well. You know, I'm sure the girls are stoked. We're back in the sky together, and it all ended well.